picked their initiation and pretty much their bursty heroes. So we'll see what it follows up with.
Yeah, again, guys, this match was supposed to take place tomorrow, but I guess Fresh especially that we're not able to make it with a full 5 tomorrow. Thus, they talked it over and we're able to get it rescheduled here to today. So that's why we're casting today. Again, was a late notice here, but again, I still should have a good series coming at us here. But as you mentioned, yeah, it's solid start here for both sides. The Pearl, and definitely a little bit of the interesting one, no doubt. Not a very popular, but we have been seeing teams kind of getting a little more comfortable trying out these new heroes. And Riptide comes to mind. Obviously, Deadlift. We've been seeing him a bit lately. In fact, speaking of him, he's going to be banned here by ProBusk with their first ban in the next phase. So Malekith, Deadlift, Swiftblade, and Ophelia so far is what we do have as far as the bans go. One more ban on either side to happen right here. But, yeah, ProBusk not going to deal with the Deadlift here. It's proven to be a pretty... Not only just good hero in a sense, but he's probably one of the more annoying heroes to face with that death grip ability. So I'm sure it's good to ban him.
Yeah, definitely. It's for sure annoying to play against the Deadlift. I wouldn't say the hero really farms fast in the jungle, but he farms good enough to the point where he will get enough levels to the point where he can max his Q relatively early, and just sending that out from the woods, it's so hard to avoid that. So, and even if you do have an escape, it will immobilize you, so it's kind of hard to escape that.
Yeah.
And Sync is probably looking for a jungler next, so banning the Deadlift, I can agree with that one.
You see the Dr. Repulsor coming out right here. Speaking of junglers, Lapped, he does have a little bit of history playing a Dr. Jungle, so maybe would expect it to be a carry, but doesn't have to be either. That's makes that pick pretty strong here. Moira, immediate response, though. It's kind of funny we're seeing that interaction here with the 4th pick on either side, but Doctor into a Moira. Obviously, Moira pretty good against that Dr. Repulsor. So, was that maybe a fault of Sync to pick up a Doctor knowing that Moira's still on the board here?
No, I don't think so. I just think that he has to adjust his item build accordingly. For example, see Balthazar very often when he plays Dr. Repulsor, for example. If he plays against something like a Moira or Magebane, he will always go for that first item, No Stone, which I hope that is going to be the case as well for whoever plays Doctor. And it seems to me like it actually is going to be a jungle Doctor or maybe a second support Behemoth, but I don't like that, so I never take that into consideration as an actual option. But we'll see how they swap it around with the Kronos, though, coming out.
Haxrin has played Kronos a couple times for them as that carry since he's kind of joined the ranks of Sync Esports right here. So, yeah, that's even more reason to lead me to believe that, yeah, we'll see the Jungle Doctor Repulsor as well with Kronos in that carry role. And again, it's been interesting seeing Kronos in that carry role. Obviously, he did get some changes with the idea that to try to incentivize to being played as a carry more, and Sync is kind of working with that here. So, you see Pandy trying to get some insight right there before they make their final pick. And in the end, there we go. Slapped going to ready up on that Jungle Doctor. But Magebane is the final pick. So they got the Moira Magebane combination coming out. Dr. Repulsor, obviously, good to have for that combo as well. Get a good mana rift out of it. So I think a solid pick carry Magebane here.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's solid, and I believe that he's going to be able to get free farm during this game, seeing as Legion has no mana potential whatsoever, and even if they do, they're never going to be able to kill him. So, Magebane was a good pick, considering they can't man up. If they could man up with several of their heroes, say if they had a Magmus or something with Pyro, something crazy like that, then I wouldn't call it a good pick. But in this game, yes. The Mana Rift, you have a lot of targets to just Mana Rift this game, as well as burning mana on some low mana pool heroes.
Yeah.
Specifically that Kronos. He kind of needs all of his mana to put out that Chrono field early, as well as the leap. So I like it.
That was really interesting right there. I was actually happy to catch them in the well at the beginning of the game, and They're literally huddled up for like the first 30 seconds here, sitting in the well as a team, and then all of a sudden they just all started running towards their areas here. So I guess either they were kind of talking it over, and we do see a lot of right away pauses, and we kind of figure that there's some strat talking going on. So it's almost like they just chose not to pause though, and we're just like, oh, let's kind of think it over here, and they eventually do make their way out. So speaking of aggressive, it seems like that the Hellborn team could actually be going pretty aggressive here. They send more Lodestone and Parasite as if they're going to go bottom. So kind of address the Jungle Doctor perhaps, knowing that he might not be a huge threat early on. Would this make sense to you?
Yes, this really makes sense to me, considering that Legion has a Suicide Behemoth top, and if you look at his item build, he's currently sitting on boots and a mana potion. So Mageman should have no trouble completely dominating the lane at top there. Behemoth isn't really the best laner, but he should still have a good time regardless. So just putting the Moira to use somewhere else definitely makes sense to me.
Yeah. as I do see people pointing out in chat right here that Fresh here, obviously this is always a kind of a fun matchup to look forward to as well, if not anything because of the lineups, the rosters here. Of course, not Macera, but Zibe, Serenia, and Taxerin, former teammates of ProBus, formerly of Fresh for that matter, no longer obviously a part of the team, joining Sync here, and that caused all that whole situation. But Fresh, showed last cycle and going into this one so far that they can make it work. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Pearl's in trouble, and Pearl is going to fall. Bloodlust kill for Panty coming out on that Moira. So you're talking about you like this aggressive pseudo trial lane, and it actually works out plentiful off the bat here for Fresh, actually. So I'm sure Lodestone with that rock control a lot to do that. But was Pearl maybe out of position there, or was that just good play?
Pearl expected Lodestone to be alone down there. There's no ward spotting Lodestone, Moira going down there from the beginning. They have a rune ward at the bottom side, and the other one is on Behemoth. So they didn't really see Moira, and they expected him to be top to support that mage bane. So yeah, she was out of position, but not like I don't know, what's the word?
She didn't expect it, yeah.
She didn't expect it, and she didn't mean to be out of position. She just didn't think that Moira wouldn't be there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense here. I mean, now with that information, of course, Behemoth, maybe he's going to now play a little more aggressive, of course, knowing that it is just him 1 versus 1 against Magebane. But as we see here, Magebane, not the friendliest to go up against either. That mana pool is not going to stick with constant auto attacks on you for harassment. Obviously, the power drain, or mana combustion, I should say, is going to do work right there. Thinking of Witchslayer's ability. Anyways, bottom lane, as far as creep farm goes, so obviously Bloodlust go for the Hellborn team, but Kronos 9-2 creep farm right here. Off into the jungle, by the way. Moira's in trouble once again. She's getting the help of a nice leech in the last second. Beautiful rocket drill as well to stun them, and Pearl will go down, but so does Moira. So Moira actually happened to die just before, according to the chat log right there. But still, a great turn kill for the Hellborn side. Now, can they get out of here is the question.
They're going to get Lodestone as well.
Yeah, it looks like they are, very likely. One more auto attack. There we go. Haxerin gets credit for it. So in the big picture, Sync does come out on top here of this fight.
Yeah, Slept getting off to a really good start, almost sitting at 300 JPM. This is even more farm than you would get by just purely farming in the jungle. So ganking for him definitely pays off. He's actually going to run into Parasite here, which is actually in their jungle as well. Midas going to come over.
Oh, yeah, he's finding himself in a tight spot here as the Denver Pro. He's trying to escape through the middle lane, but that's not happening. He's going to go down right here. Macera on that Midas. Sure enough, gets credit for the kill. So this aggressive pseudo trial, and they got the Bloodlust that caught Sync off guard clearly, but since then, it's been all Sync here. They've addressed it. They've responded to it seems like, pretty well, actually.
Yeah. Moira is definitely not one of the better aggressive heroes to be ran in a trial-in, at least a pseudo trial-in. It's a very squishy hero, really easy to catch, and his stun takes a long time to charge up to be able to make any kind of escape, especially with a Lodestone. If he was playing with some sort of Magnus or Behemoth, it would be different, I would say, but considering it's a Lodestone, Moira is a fairly easy kill, and we've seen that now. When that clash happened, it was really easy for Legion to just kill them.
Magebane in the meantime, here at this top lane, he is having a great time. 25-13 creep farm, 350 gold per minute at 4 minutes in here for ProBusk on that Magebane. So that's obviously great news for Fresh, despite this bottom pseudo trial lane kind going a little negative here as of late. And it's starting to get to the point, too. Is there a point where maybe they could send Moira to the top lane ultimately? I mean, I guess Mageman is getting good farm, but is having Moira down here, you know, being that she is a pretty fragile target, the best option anymore, or should they actually send her elsewhere?
I think she can be down here right now. As you see, they are getting lane control. It's pretty pushed up in their favor. So I think if he wants to, he can stay down here for like level 4 or 5 even, depending on how long the lane stays there. But if it pushes up again, like close to the Legion's first tier tower, I would expect Penny to be leaving that lane. He's actually leaving it anyway, but you do see a rotation actually coming out from sync. Behemoth is now finding himself in mid, Midas going top.
Huh. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, actually. Behemoth. Why would they do this? Maybe to try to slow down Magebane is the reason with the Midas up here?
Actually, there's action happening top. They're gonna try to kill Midas.
Are they? Oh, yeah, Moira coming in with the Illusion. Parasite, that Leech, the Arcane, or not the Arcane Vortex, but the Shards of Harkon coming out, but it is not enough. The haste on Midas, more than enough to get away, actually. But you see Doctor, he unfortunately ported there and realized, well, that wasn't necessary. But yeah, so is this, again, kind of to try to maybe address the Mage. It's actually middle lane now. Behemoth, he's in trouble. Malphus being spawned right here, but he can't get close enough for the kill. He went just a little early there. Moira was running in. Granted, she didn't have the illusion, but I think if he waited maybe 1 or 2 more seconds, it could have possibly been something. Midas head back at the top lane, though. Now Midas is in trouble. The Mana Rift going to be canceled, actually. He went line of sight. Is it going to be enough to get away? No, it's not. The Mana Rift does come out. Parasite is going to take over the Ballista and run away safely as well. Bottom lane, the action just continues. Shatterstorm activated. Look at that. He puts out the Kronos field, keeps him in place. And now Kronos trying to chase a couple of auto attacks should do it. Needs one more, and he gets it. Well played by Haxer in there, actually, with the timing and everything. So action at all 3 lanes, and we're looking at a 4-3 hero kill lead now in favor of the Legion team.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good Chronosphere. It didn't really look like... like, you won't often see a Chronosphering and waiting outside just for it to pass, but it makes sense versus a Lodestone in that particular situation. So, yeah, that was really well played. I didn't expect him to do that, but I saw the opening after when I realized what happened. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the Midas at top lane, the switch, which we've tried 2 times now. I think it's good because Midas is a really competitive laner, especially against the solo Magebane. But as you see, as we've seen at least, several people have been rotating up there trying to kill the Midas, which is obviously easy when a Magebane has been free farming for quite a while. But if it's purely 1v1, like if they actually both were left up there, I would expect Midas to just turn the laning favor, or turn the lane into his favor, while giving Magebane a tough time to continue farming. And that might be the reason, as well as giving him some farm in mid and experience. So
yeah, there's that side of it too. Obviously trying to open up Behemoth a little bit, and see here he's able to get a bottle at least with those Striders. So Zibe playing a pretty solid roam style here of the Behemoth, but it's going to be a little bit before that portal key comes about. Trying to gank this bottom lane, but you see Lodestone. He's very aware that's something. So I'm not necessarily vision down here, but when they're missing like they are, you can kind of assume that they might be nearby. Oh, they saw him go in here, actually, with that ward. So Lodestone actually could be in trouble now. He thinks he's hidden. Yep, here they go. Doctor Repulsor flying in. There's the Kronos field. Gonna keep him in lockdown initially. You see Doctor trying to set up right here. There's the rocket drill, though. Doctor was not the greatest position, honestly. He did not position himself to not get hit by that rocket drill, I feel like, and he actually gets away. 4-man gank unsuccessful.
yeah, it's really hard to kill a Lodestone with 1k HP and that Shatterstorm. He gets really tanky. Their heroes doesn't really output that much damage early on, and you see even Doctor not leveling Grip as he's playing the jungle, of course. So that it's definitely playing a factor as well. Really good try from Serenia. He tried to push Lodestone when he used his rocket drill to try to make him go out of range, so the rocket drill wouldn't even happen at all. So that was interesting to see, and a good try at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doctor not sidestepping that rocket drill might have been a difference as well, but I don't think so. there would have been some tower dives and maybe some TPs coming in from Hellborn, and that would have turned kills as well. So
True.
just being safe is probably the name of the game here for Sync, so far at least.
Yeah, definitely could have turned for them, so perhaps it is just ultimately better that nothing drastic came of that. But you see both carries right here, Kronos and Magebane, both around that, closing in on at least that 400 gold per minute mark. Now, when it comes to item progression, it seems like they're going to be going a slightly different path. Obviously, Magebane going, you would probably expect here, the Rune Cleaver. Kronos, I don't know. I mean, I feel like he can go kind of a different style depending on what he wants to really do here. Is it something like a Thunderclaw? I mean, what should we expect to see on Kronos, you think?
I think that he's going to go Thunderclaw. If he hasn't bought the Sustainer yet, I think that he's going to go Thunderclaw. He's waiting to purchase the full item until he buys it. And considering that if you look at his team, he's playing a very aggressive team with Doctor, Midas, and Behemoth. So going some aggressive route like the Thunderclaw instead of the Rune Cleaver makes sense if they want to win this pretty early.
Yeah.
But they don't have to because they have Kronos. But it's still like, if you want to join your team, you should get an aggressive item, which is probably what he will do.
No! Oh, so many plays happen right there. And ultimately the kill is in favor of the Hellborn team. But Serenia first initially got healed by the Lion's Pride, then her own heal with the Soothing Presence. Meanwhile, Hellbringer in the middle lane. Doctor goes on him. Haitian helping there, but also minus initiation. So good combo kill to take out Hellbringer and actually come out on top of all that exchange, you could safely say. But yeah, and then the uphill attack missed when he tried to deny Serenity on top of that. So it's just several different things was happening. And at the bottom lane, though, Lodestone does go down as well. So again, once again, big picture here. You got Sync actually coming out on top after all that just happened. So good news for the Pro Bust, though, still farming away at the top side. That Rune Cleaver well in the works. 2,500 gold on Kronos. So again, that Thunderclaw very possible here to be coming up.
Should have enough for it now if he wants to purchase this. And yeah, there you go.
All right. So there's going to be the Thunderclaw. There's a nice top tower kill coming out for the Hellborn side. Portal key situation, you got Behemoth. Again, only 640 gold saved up, so still a ways. Zlapt is going to be going that Icon of the Goddess, even playing the Jungle Doctor Repulsor right here. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does make sense, but he definitely wants a no-stone this game. I would be surprised if he doesn't go the no-stone. And if he really doesn't go the no-stone, he should at least have a Shrunken Head. If he doesn't build any of those two items, I would say that's a mistake. But going to Icon is pretty good for early fighting, I guess. They're going to go mid.
Speaking of that, they're trying to get the Hellbringer right here. They get him killed. He didn't even have Malphus up, but obviously wouldn't even have the chance. Meanwhile, we do see Preservation used on Parasite as he ports in. So kind of causing a little issues there as well. Parasite wants to chase this Dr. Repulsor, but that's not going to happen. If Parasite just went for Pearl right here, I mean, that was a free kill on her. But again, really trying to kill this Dr. Behemoth. What a block right there to save Doctor in the long run, and they get nothing out of it. 5 players being here trying to return. Obviously, Hellbringer was picked off, and Sync, very well played, to then have the Doctor escape at the end there.
Yeah, definitely. You saw Magebane putting down a mana rift on Doctor there. It did 590 magic damage. It was quite not enough. It got down to like less than 100 HP or something like that. So that was sad. He tried to blink after him twice, didn't happen. Then the Moira with the stun. That's actually a pretty powerful combo. Just putting the Shards of Harkon on Magebane and he just blinks in.
Yeah. Any kind of blink hero in general, of course, Shards of Harkon being on them is a pretty powerful combination. Definitely Hellbringer again middle lane. Again in trouble. Now this time Parasite is here and Malphus does come out and you just see the difference all of a sudden. Midas is picked off. Dr. Repulsor falling. Shockwave going to be used. It will take out Hellbringer. Malphus does go down, but the Kronos still coming in at a pretty clutch time here as well. Behemoth, however, unfortunately not going to be able to survive after the fact. So a 2-for-2 exchange coming out. I guess Malphus did survive. I thought I saw him fall there. With Magebane also coming in here to assist. And he's going to go right back into the jungle again. He's just around the corner now from finishing that Rune Cleaver here. But a couple of clashes in the middle lane. This one doesn't go as well for Sync. At least Fresh able to respond here.
Nope. But Malphas was used though, so now Legion should have a pretty good timing to look for another fight, seeing as they have the early aggression heroes. Hellborn does too, but when they don't have cooldowns, they're not as strong at all. So Legion can really make some plays happen within the next 100 seconds right here when the Malphas is down. Because they really don't have anything without the Lodestone, Portal Key, and Magebane only having the Rune Cleaver. So look for them to actually push on tower maybe, or look for kills at least.
Absolutely, this definitely seems like it is a pretty prime spot here for this Legion team to make a play. We do see the Stealth Hunter controlled by Parasite. Gonna see the Illusion Rune popped. Midas coming towards the middle tower. They want to get this tower kill. One team though, but again without Malphas, they're not going to risk it. They just let the tower fall. So as you're pointing out there, it's just not really comfortable right now for Fresh to take a fight. They're still waiting for several things to happen, including that Malphas cooldown, the Magebane, to get more out of this Rune Cleaver. And speaking of that, I mean, this already has been a pretty action-packed game. How do you think Magebane needs to progress from here? Does he need that Shrunken Head ASAP, perhaps? Or can he risk going more damage? What?
I think going Shrunken Head in this particular game is a mistake. He will need it eventually, but going it right now after Rune Cleaver, I think that's a mistake. He needs a Firebrand, for example, to increase his farming even more and the movement speed. Because if you look at Legion's heroes, they have pretty much instant catch heroes. Like Kronos doesn't care about your Shrunken Head, and Doctor will fly from probably shadows and catch you before you can even pop your Shrunken Head. Same with the Behemoth Portal Key when he gets it, which is, by the way, in 50 gold. So I think going Shrunken Head immediately now after is a mistake. He will need it eventually, as I said. Yeah. So sometime after 1 or 2 items, look for him to buy that.
He just bought something right here. I think it was a quick blade, so
yeah, it was a quick blade.
Okay, so at least that Firebrand going to be coming out here. We'll see again further how it's looking. Maybe something like an Abyssal Skull they could use as well, whether it's on him or perhaps something like the Parasite here. But Veiled Rot from Dr. Repulsor. Checking the Ancients right here. He did not get seen though, so able to throw down. Idea. Yeah, he kind of feels like he's got the spider sense, but in the end doesn't make a play on it, and we do see the Ancients are cleared out there. So Magebane all of a sudden 480 gold per minute, but Kronos too. Again, that Thunderclaw, don't underestimate his farm, 480 gold per minute as well here. And actually bottom lane, they're going to be going on to Lodestone here. They say Shadowstorm this. That's not going to happen. Unfortunately, he also got Doctor in it, but unless the Arcane Vortex now comes out. And so maybe it is going to be an issue. In fact, there's the Shadowstorm. No, he gets taken out though. Behemoth all of a sudden joins the party. There's Malphas, however. No Kronos field, of course, it was just used, but the rewind's proccing for Kronos. And there's another bubble, the Pearl Bubble, going to be coming out to help push them away. But the chase is going to continue, actually. Magebane going back in, does have that Mana Rift, wants to use it on Doctor, I'm sure, but he's being locked down this whole time. And Magebane will go down. He blinked in a little too aggressively. Pearl is going to be picked off by Parasite, but at what cost here? He's going to fall, and it's a 3-for-1. Pearl for the 3. Absolute dominating fight there for Sync Esports when it was all said and done.
Definitely. But I think that was a bit too YOLO of Probuff to just blink in right there into 4 heroes and just instantly getting stunned by Doctor, and everyone just turned their attention to him. He dies pretty quick at this point, only having, well, he has only 1 survivability item, and that's the Steam Boots, if he has them on strength, of course. So still fairly squishy, and I don't think blinking into 4 heroes is the right call, but maybe he told his team like go 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 go,
yeah.
But they didn't really follow up, and then I can't fault him for that if it was the team not following up, if he actually thought that was the right decision.
But well, even if that is the call, though, I mean, Lodestone's dead. Malphas was, of course, already used, so they didn't really have a catch at that point. So I still think even if that was a call, like, it still was just overall a wrong decision as a team even. So, yeah, just chasing in the first place.
I think he was hoping for luck, like trying to find the Doctor, mana rifting, and probably killing off a few heroes. I think that's really what he was hoping for.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he wanted to blink in and mana rift someone.
Yeah. Right.
So
could have been big, but unfortunately didn't get the target. And again, they do have that more Magebane combination, as we have talked about in the past. Yes, it technically works. However, you need to start waiting for it to start regenning the mana. So you at least have to wait that couple of seconds from the mana center before, or I guess only 1 second right now, but eventually 2.5. Anyways, Hellbringer, meanwhile, he's in trouble. He's going to throw around the fear and actually will survive. They decided not to dive all the way to commit to a kill on a Hellbringer. I mean, they had 4 heroes here. A little surprised at that, actually. But in the end, he does escape. Never mind. Doctor's like, okay, now's the time. Comes in and cleans him up. So, nice pick off in the end. And meanwhile, Kronos Field, Haxrin is very liberal with these Kronos Fields. He's not afraid to use them. Now, he is going to be caught in the Arcane Vortex with Parasite, so that Arcane Vortex is a pretty good tool against it, as we've been seeing. Malphus coming down, a lot of bubbles all over the place, as Pearl pops that Preservation as well, trying to keep himself and Behemoth alive. Neither one will stay alive, though, and ultimately this time around, Fresh does come out on top of the fight, although Hellbringer did buy back to do that, that's right. But yeah, you could say it's probably worth it, obviously. They got the 2, and that Malphus was a huge influence in that fight, so. But he's down to buyback now as a result of that fight there. Magebane, Firebrand, another 1,000 gold saved up, so still, again, waiting for him to continue to progress, but he is the top farmer, 490 gold per minute coming out here.
Yeah, which is really good for them. They have only taken 1 tower, and Legion has taken 2, and Haxrin also hasn't died yet with 4 kills. So out farming Haxrin with limited resources, that's definitely a good sign.
Oh, Midas. He's going to be looking to jump Magebane here. He had the infants. He missed the combo, though. Oof. Masera got a little antsy there. I mean, he could have really been a tad more patient with the teammates coming even. But, again, kind of went for it, figuring he maybe had it, but just missed it. So that would have been a pretty crucial kill. Unfortunately, missing on the chance there.
If you talk about one of the hardest heroes to hit your skill shot with, playing Midas without a setup stun is probably one of the hardest combinations to do in the game.
Yeah, it's 2 abilities, really, that you have to hit, obviously. Is already making it a pretty difficult task, so yeah, understandable. Missing that there, but... Oop, is that a level 3 puzzle box now for Parasite? I think so. We just purchased at least another set of it, so yeah, I want to say it's probably level 3 here. Despite his farm not being that great, we are 21 minutes in, though, so... In fact, let's check here. Oh, no, wow, it's only going to be level 2, actually. Yeah, I guess this farm just isn't really that great, so... Goes back to that. Meanwhile, Hellbringer's going to be picked off. Oh, the neutrals killed him, though. The Doctor trying to kill him, but... Looks like the Ancients take him out, so he is dead, but... Obviously, a little unfortunate for Doctor there.
Yeah. Looks like Legion wants to push this second tier bottom tower, though, grouping up as 4 here, or at least looking for a kill. Kronos is ready with that leap.
Got the time leap, going to use it right here. Keep Loso locked down, and they do successfully. They've been able to get some good upfront burst onto him as this game has progressed on here. And now they're going to look to take out the tower on top of that, obviously. So, overall, good play there for this Legion side, and well, to pause coming out here, but should be a tower kill coming out. I don't see the Hellborn team defending this. I mean, Malphus is up, but Hellbringer not. That's usually an issue.
I think it's going to take too long time for them to set up everything before the tower actually goes down.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have glyph or not, but maybe if they have glyph, they can barely get in there, I think, if they really wanted to.
Exactly. It's just like, is it really worth it at that point? Instead, just have Magebane continue to farm. Probably makes sense here.
Yep. I think so as well.
He is getting close to that Shrunken Head now. I mentioned the Mighty Blade picked up, so gets it after at least a Firebrand here that he went for initially. So I know you're talking about that. Like, is this still? Do you think this will be a little too early if he gets it, or is it fine that he got the Firebrand?
I think it's okay. I mean, at least a Firebrand in between the Rune Cleaver and the Shrunken Head should have happened. And if he actually does go the Shrunken Head, I would be totally fine with that. But okay. I still think that if he's just farming, and the Legion heroes like have such an easy time just killing him. Like a Chronosphere at this point is lasting for 5 seconds. That's half of his Shrunken Head is gone right there. So it might be a bit too early, but I can really see why he would get it in this game.
Now, Slapton, I want to say he actually usually does this even on his Jungle Doctor, but going to be going the Light Brand and eventually a Grimoire here. Again, a great damage enhancement and everything, but I feel like they could have used that Hellflower, especially on a hero like Mageman, to jump him or get in there and Hellbringer, prevent a Malphus. Are you fine with him going the Grimoire?
I think it's fine of him going the Grimoire. It's more of a team fighting item. When you go the Hellflower, you're looking to pick people off, and Hellborn at this point, and they're kind of staying together. So Hellflower, it's really hard to make it work because Hellborn does have a lot of counter initiation with the Arcane Vortex, the Malphas, and everything. So the Hellflower might not be very good in some scenarios if the Hellborn plays accordingly, where Grimoire will be like more consistent damage.
Yeah.
So I agree with going the Grimoire.
Oh,
Personally.
Moira going to be caught here. He's able to dodge the stun, but there's the Arcane Vortex. Now this is going to be interesting. I assume Doctor is, yeah, I was going to say, should be able to get away here. And he does get away in the end. He saw Lowstone trying to chase him, but unable to get close enough. So that's a good distraction, if anything, from Zlap to actually keeps him occupied over there. And now Hellbringer all of a sudden. He's going to be caught most likely. Doctor is going to go in. Yes, there's a follow-up with Behemoth. And down goes Hellbringer. So chasing him throughout the jungle, eventually find him. And again, a very important kill, especially on a Hellbringer that's farming, getting some decent levels here. Keeping him killed means the Hellborn team is a little less likely to make a team fight happen, and that means Congo's looking good.
Oh, they're actually going for Conger, okay. They do have the Abyssal on Haxtron though, so not gonna lose a lot of life in the process, so just poking in on Conger is definitely not the worst idea, but I don't think they're gonna be successful. Which they already left, by the way.
Yeah. They're just like, you know what, not worth it. Let's go ahead and go elsewhere here. When they do Congo, I was actually going to bring that up. I still will, though. I mean, who do you think they should give the token to? Because Doctor is obviously a very good hero with it, but he's technically not their main carry here, so.
I think they should still give it to Doctor, seeing as he will probably be the main initiator, as Kronos will only be the main initiator if he finds several people, which obviously then he's not going to take much damage. So I think Kronos is just going to pick his timing to where the point where he will go in at like a prime time where he can't die and he will deal a lot of damage to their heroes. So
yeah.
Doctor being the first one jumping in, I definitely would like to see the token on Doctor this particular game.
Lodestone gonna find Kronos right here. Hellbringer using that Malphas, locking him down. Rewind's helping a little bit, but not enough in the end. The preservation was so close. Even with it, though, might not have mattered. She goes down, and it's a two-man pick-off in favor of the Hellborn team. And in fact, now they're going to go right to the Conqueror pit, and this should be a Conqueror kill. Sync Esports not even interested in defending it, obviously, with the two heroes dead. They're just going to counter-push as much as they can. But now, you got all of a sudden Fresh going to be picking up a token, and I think it's safe to say for their side, Magebane going to be the one to pick it up here.
Yeah, definitely.
There we go. Picks it up, and he already has another 2,000 gold saved up. I'm sure something like that Geometer's Bane going to be coming here as well. So, yeah, this Magebane is starting to get pretty scary here for the Hellborn team, and it goes back to if they're able to get a good Hellbringer initiation with that Malphas and obviously a Lodestone follow-up, I mean, it's definitely a pretty scary team to fight against. But that's where the bubbles are kind of an issue, too. The Kronos field, the Pearl Preservation, I mean, those are good counters, you could say, as well. So this is going to be really interesting to see these fights continuing to happen here.
Yeah. Pearl is actually really good against any carry right now. It's so frustrating to play against the Pearl. It doesn't matter what items you have. If he's next to you and he ultis, you will just be pushed away, and you will just be trying to get back in there, and then he'll push you away again with a World Bubble. Yep. Not if you have a Shrunken, but at least the first push away is always so frustrating when you're trying to kill a target. So Magebane might still have some troubles getting in on the hero, seeing as he doesn't have a chasing tool like the Frostful Skull or the Brutalizer in some cases. Some people go.
Huh.
Yeah, that might be an issue.
Magebane just went the Dancing Blade, actually, so not even finishing a Geometer's Bane, just going straight Dancing Blade, and I'm guessing a Wingbow here for him.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the Wingbow. That's something Provosk does a lot. He just likes the early Wingbow when people doesn't have Savage yet, and it does make sense because if he is caught in that Kronos field, since Kronos does not have the Savage Mace yet, he will arguably, or if he's lucky enough at least, will live through that because of the Wingbow, which no other item would have given him the same kind of defensive purpose. Still a good offensive item though, so it's good. I like it.
Absolutely. Good damage increase. Attack speed also, of course, good for the mana combustion ability in itself. So, Yeah, overall just great synergy with the hero. Behemoth, by the way, mentioned, didn't really mention this yet, but he sat it out for a couple of minutes. He did go the Alk Bones eventually. Of course, there is Parasite over here with that level 3 puzzle box, and it is Zibbe after all. He's kind of known for doing that, so maybe not too surprised that he did that. But look at that also. There's the Resto Stone on Hellbringer, but also a Sheepstick on Midas, so some pretty key items coming out here on either side.
It's worth to note also that the Wingbow will be completely useless if he actually gets sheeped by Midas. But that's where the Shrunken Head will come into play as well, if you actually manage to activate that.
Wow, the carry's going at it all of a sudden in the Legion jungle. That's pretty crazy. Mageman chasing the Kronos is going to even get him to Time Leap away. I mean, you saw right there, it does seem like if they go toe-to-toe, I mean, right now, Magebane possibly has the advantage, but maybe the token, if anything, kind of persuaded Kronos from dealing with it. But Magebane instead will just push the bottom tower and get a free tower kill. So it's kind of interesting to see at this point of the game especially, the carries all of a sudden finding each other and going at it. But at least nobody dies from it. It's not the positive for either side. But man, that Wingbow is actually going to be finished here on to Magebane. Yeah, he is just explosive with this farm all of a sudden. 630 gold per minute here for Probus. But obviously it does fall off a lot. But again, this is the fresh style. It's Probus, no matter the carry he's on it, for the most part, he'll soak up a majority of the farm here. And it usually works, honestly. So they're able to do it successfully.
Yep. And I agree with that as well. Him taking a lot of the farm, playing the Magebane. It's usually here he wants as much GPM as you can, because he's one of the more famous 1v5 heroes, if I may say so.
Mm-hmm.
So there's never anything wrong with Magebane getting all the farm on the map. At least in my eyes.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely doing that here. And again, it's putting them in a really good spot, it feels like. You see up here, Midas and Behemoth, they're hanging around. Fresh is very aware that something's up. In fact, Moira's going to spot them. Panny finds Midas here. Is he going to be able to keep them locked down long enough? You do see the others are running over. Behemoth is like, I'm out of here. Midas, I think he might be dead here, though. They obviously know he's now over here. There's the find, and down it goes Midas. So Behemoth gets away, but what heads up from Panny, actually?
Like, can you see people up there? Because we definitely saw this yesterday when Bob was scattered out, Magmus. Like, what's wrong with that area? 2 days in a row? Like, how does people do that?
I guess it's just they almost like expect it now. They just figure they might as well check it just in case. And sure enough, they happen to be right coincidentally these last couple of days. Because yeah, you're right. We mentioned that yesterday in the series that we casted. So, well,
that's interesting. It's gonna open up for a tower push up here, and Magebane's gonna get even more GPM. Blinking away early, fearing that they're gonna go on him. His token is now gone, so maybe a red call, maybe not.
Yeah.
It didn't matter in the end, but it's still kind of interesting to see the scare factor coming into play there.
Ooh, Kronos is pulling up quite a bit, and we mentioned the Wingbow, so I wonder if Haxion's gonna feel the Savage. Never mind, he goes the Shrunken Head. Right
no,
here, so.
As I said, with the Sheepstick, if Magebane is actually Sheepsticked, everyone has True Strike on your team, so the Wingbow won't matter if they actually catch him. So he has a little bit of window to deal damage, so I don't think he needs the Savage just yet.
Alright. As that shrunken to help for defensive purposes, so we'll see another big fight. Man, it just seems like he just got this Wingbow and another 2,500 gold already saved up on Probus. Pretty crazy at that farm. Again, Magebane, though, is one of the best at it with that very short cooldown. It's what, a 6-second cooldown on that flash? Yeah. At this level, and it's just insane mobility that he has. Now, there could be a fight breaking out over here, as yes, there will be. Behemoth jumps in on a load zone, catches him. Malphus does come out in response. Doctor in the background going on Amora, gets her killed, though. They do pick off low zone as well before the Shatter Storm goes off. Magebane, he's still looking for a chance. He finally blinks in, but he's trying to chase Kronos. He can't really do that, though. By the time he blinks in, the damage is already done, and it's 3-0. There's a Kronos spin. It also catches Parasite as well as Magebane. And Parasite is going to go down. The double Malphus trying to make something happen. The Mana Rift is going to finish off Kronos. So Magebane, that's, yeah. And you see them running away for good reason. Magebane will do work against you. He gets a double tap, but that is all he gets at least.
I would
for the
still
Legion.
favor Hellborn for that. They dropped 4 heroes and Legion only dropped 2, but Hellborn's heart carry is alive while
True.
Legion's died. So yeah, it's a couple of more kills to spare for the Legion team there, but I would favor Hellborn in that actually. I would feel pretty good playing Mage Bane killing off the Kronos there.
Yeah, Kronos, or excuse me, Mage Bane, again, it's the threat you see and the fact that he now has that a full Geometer Bane here to work with, and even another item, more than likely going to be somewhat heavier of a damage item here to follow. Yeah, if you're not careful, then he will wreck your team. Now, we did see, again, a good example. Granted, I will say, Probusta just simply got there a little bit late, so wasn't necessarily hard crowd control on him. He did get there a little late. But when he did, they kited him pretty well. Is definitely true. So this Hellborn team definitely wants to get the. I mean, both sides want to get the jump, and in that case, Sync just happened to, with Behemoth obviously getting in there. So they go back to around the Conqueror pit. I mean, I don't know if Conqueror is going to be up just yet. I want to say maybe another minute or so, but you can tell both teams are very interested in it when he does come back.
It's going to be up in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Around 2 minutes. So you're probably
right.
right. Somewhere around there. I wonder what Magepin is going to build, because he's in the spot where, does he have enough balls to go for a damage item, or should he go something more defensive like a Frostwolf Skull or Symbol, for example?
Huh. Yeah.
Because he is still not tanky enough to the point where he will feel comfortable at any point. So he might just pick up another defensive item, actually. He's dealing 300 damage now, right? Plus the mana burn, so I mean, he's still dealing a lot of damage at the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely hitting hard. But my guess, my bigger concern would be, you know, that damage, though. He really needs it to kind of be max, because we saw that last fight. He only got so many auto attacks off because they kited him very well here. So that would be my concern if he just goes more of a tank. I mean, they're just going to accomplish that even more. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting choice here from Probusk, no matter what it is. There's
Maybe
no very right answer.
Well, maybe he can go some kind of a middle ground item. You don't see it often, but maybe something like a Genjuro. You have that slow built in, and also one of the best damage items in the game. So that's kind of a middle ground, and also will give him a nice invis to maybe escape some scenarios and stuff. Maybe he will go for that.
Yeah.
Maybe he won't. But that's kind of a middle ground item, I would say.
I kind of like it too. I mean, the illusions definitely get buffed from it as well with the raw agility. So I honestly could see Genjuro being decent here for him too. So yeah, we'll see. Again, Probuska, 4,500 gold now saved up. So obviously plenty in that spot too, where buybacks are going to become that much more important. They catch Magepin though, but he's able to blink it aggressively in the background. Parasite also went on a Doctor, so he's not able to make a play. Meanwhile, Kronos, he's caught by Malphus. Can he get away with the Shrunken? Yes, he can. Shadowstorm hits nobody, unfortunately. As a result, Preservation put down. Magebane's just sitting in the background. He's not going to let them catch him. He's going to counter in. But in the end, nobody dies here on either side, so quite a bit used to have no one die. But this is going to open up again a Congo attempt. God, he kills us so fast.
Legion knows about it, though. They have a ward here from Serenia.
They can't go.
They can't go, I know, but they know that it's happening at least.
Yeah. That was ridiculously fast, especially when the Malphuses got there. So, well, now they have a token, too. On the Magebane.
Still sitting on 5,200 gold, though, so it's always that spot where you want another item, but then you're sitting on a token, which you don't want to give up, honestly.
True. Different guy, meanwhile, gets picked off by Magebane. Now, he didn't have his Malphus up, obviously, but still, pretty important pick-off here. Meaning, if he possibly had a buyback, which he doesn't even, so really, just all across the board. Not a good situation for the Hellborn team right there. We'll see if Sync can try to capitalize, but I don't know if they're going to be able to push in the tower. I mean, Magebane, he's level 25, by the way, too. I'm just realizing that myself, but 4 levels higher than anyone else in this game, who's that Kronos at 21. Right now, so he is a beast here.
Yeah, it's only going to continue being a beast. Kronos is probably the hardest carry in the game at this current point in time, and the reason for that is because of the Chrono Field locking down any carry.
Yeah.
and just allow so many free hits, and that's going to give you an advantage. You're going to find Mageman.
Yeah, they sheep him right here. How much will they commit? There's that Kronos been talking about. Shatterstorm coming in from Lodestone, though. And it's going to save Mageman initially, but he is going to fall. Yes, he finally goes down right there. But now here's the token. So Parasite picked off, Mageman flanking in, quick kill on a Dr. Pulsar, but it's not enough actually. Doctor survives. The Mana Rift was 1100 damage, I'm pretty sure, but he managed to actually live through it. Kronos now, however, the rewinds barely helping to keep him alive. Is it going to be enough in the end? It's unbelievable. How is he still alive? Down goes Mageman. Those rewinds are just freaking ridiculous. Are you kidding me? He actually lived right there.
Yeah, he did. And then he actually turned. He was like, okay, I got a man up at this point. And he just completely turned around on Provost there. And you saw the sheep stick coming into effect. He got sheep by Midas, which means the wing bow won't be into effect. So that was all just great damage coming onto Mageman, getting a turn there in the end as well. Really good for Legion. Nice escape by Slapped, actually.
Yeah, I think Sync deserves a lot of credit here in these fights as far as teamwork and coordination goes. It feels like they're resetting at the prime times. You know, they're not overcommitting. They're getting the initiations, and I don't think it's that Fresh is not playing well, obviously, because it feels like that they're playing pretty solid themselves. But Sync is just outplaying Fresh here in these fights. It definitely seems like, at least. And also it does feel like that Sync has gotten a majority of these initiations here too, and that was just another example of that. So we mentioned with the sheep stick to initially catch him. So Sync is definitely feeling good, especially after those rewinds here. But again, it goes back to, yes, that's RNG, man. I mean, those are the Han gods saying, you know what, Kronos, we're going to help you stay alive. But that's part of the hero at the same time. That's kind of the risk you take picking up a hero like Kronos. You know, maybe it'll happen quite often in those prime spots and save you, but other times it may not. So it just happened to work out pretty well there.
It's extremely frustrating to maybe lose a fight just because of RNG. There's nothing more frustrating because you're just sitting there thinking, oh my god, if he didn't get those rewinds, we would kill him, and then, yeah, we would probably kill everyone else too. That didn't happen because he rewound all of my attacks, so that sucks. Obviously part of the hero, as you said.
Yes, it is. Life moves on. Mageman, by the way, he does go the Whispering Elm, so
Symbol.
Gonna go that symbol, yep. More the defensive. Again, there was no wrong answer, I think, here. It's just, it was definitely going to be interesting to see what Probusk felt. And he is known as, has that history of being a little bit more of a defensive player, so I guess I can't be too surprised in the end that he did go this route here.
I think the reason for that is because he found himself dying 2 times in that fight. He had a token, and he just wants a symbol to be able to... That's basically like another life. You can drop to 1 HP, attack twice, and then you're full HP. So that's kind of a banana item, or banana-like item, when you activate it. So I think that, considering that he died twice during the last fight, he wants the lifesteal.
Yeah. Which
is obviously good versus playing versus another carry. And especially after getting chrono fielded by Kronos, you're going to lose a lot of life, so you want to sustain your health after the chrono field. So it makes sense, but it's not having that kind of catchy item though, like Frostwolf or Genjuro.
Yeah, no, see, that's what I was going to bring up there too. That's where I'm kind of just, and the more I'm thinking about it, not too sure. As Dr. Repulsor, he's going to go in the middle lane right here. Parasite is caught in the background, but meanwhile over here, Kronos gets caught. And rewinds again coming out big time. He's going to survive. The Kronos field and Mageman runs into it. Are you kidding me? Mageman now in trouble. He's going to have to try to blink out. No, he's just going to do auto attacks. But in the background, Hellbringer and Mora get picked off. So the split fight's going on. Lodestone goes down. Did they find Kronos? They still can't catch him. He's on the run. The crowd control's too powerful. Pearl will finally be taken out for 1 kill. Mageman trying to cut them off, though. He finds Mageman. That Mana Rift's going to be canceled as it gets pulled in. And Kronos once again remains alive. They just can't kill the damn Kronos, no matter how much they commit trying to make it happen. And Mageman is just going to go heal up with it in their careers. This is amazing how Kronos is just surviving between such skilled play and a little bit of RNG here.
Wow. Yeah, that is actually a surprising amount of RNG going in his favor 2 times in a row now. So it's paying off big time, actually. Definitely making a huge difference.
Yeah. That's as you pointed out, that's got to be so frustrating for Fresh. That's 2 huge fights that have no doubt been to the credit of the Han gods here. for Sync, at least for Kronos surviving, and with him surviving. And it's not even that he's like turning around and doing all this damage. I mean, in the previous one, I guess he did, but that fight, it was just because they kept chasing for so long to trying to actually kill him that then we saw kind of the end result right there with Sync yet again coming out on top. Now, again, coming out on top lightly because Magebane does remain alive, and that gold is once again enhancing, but he's at that full inventory. I guess you could get rid of the Rune Cleaver and now get a. I would really still like to see like that. I guess with him going the symbol, he probably should now go like a Savage Mace here, just raw damage.
I think that he's gonna keep the cleaver until he feels like he's Bill Gates, and then he's gonna buy the Savage. I don't think that he's gonna sell the Rune Cleaver until he has pulled off a lot of gold. Because Savage Mace is not a farming item, and you definitely want that Rune Cleaver for the flash farming.
Yeah.
So, look for him to eventually switch it out, but not at the moment, I don't think.
I just love these rewinds here. Moira does have the portal key. She's had it now for a little bit, but just to make that clear. Yeah, so it goes back to where I was about to point out about the similar rage. And again, the more I'm thinking about it, I really feel like the Frostal Skull actually, if he wanted this surviving, this tankier build, would have made a lot more sense because, again, as we kind of saw there, they're just crowd controlling him hardcore, man. It's like the lifesteal's not even allowed to be used here by Magebane for the most part. The Frostal Skull will at least give him a little bit more of that chase chance. You know, put the slow out with a couple of auto attacks, and it also bulks him up to. Even if they wanted to kill him, that it would be very, very difficult to do so. So yeah, I don't know if the symbol actually is going to prove to be the best choice here for Magebane in the end, but it is his choice, and you know that's what we're seeing here, unfortunately. So
I think that's the fault of him buying actually a wing bow, because he definitely could have bought like a way more defensive route, because you know that Kronos is going to go for that Savage. So buying something like a Frostal Skull and Behemoth's Heart, and maybe even a symbol as well on top of that, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to be so tanky, and you're still going to deal a lot of damage with those trio of items. Like, your Q spell, the Mana Combustion, is your main source of damage. Of course, you have a lot of auto attack damage, but when you're hitting for like 150 extra mana, like, that's like if you're attacking the Doctor, that's like a huge part of your damage as well. So even with those kind of items, you're still gonna deal a lot of damage, and it's also gonna be better for chasing and surviving. So I don't know what I feel about this build now in hindsight, but I think that he kind of screwed himself over when he got the wing bow, because it kind of limited his options, which is why you see the items he has in his inventory right now.
I think down the line right there, you see Moira trying to find a catch. Oh, Behemoth TP now right as the boss comes out. I don't know if Moira can actually see him right here. If Moira can see him, then this should be a pretty easy reaction to like throw out an Arcane Vortex here and catch the Behemoth. So that pause might be a little unfortunate for Zibe here, because if it wasn't a pause, then it would have maybe been a little bit more of a reaction time for Moira before he could have realized it. But well, we'll see if able to catch him.
Not sure if he's actually able to see him.
Yeah.
Usually when you walk by those trees, you don't really have vision on the other side. You kind of have to walk past that middle tree there. So I'm not actually sure if he sees him or not. But I would think so, because he's in a straight line, like, to the Moira or Behemoth.
So. It looks like he should be able to see him. That's what I was saying, to clarify, guys, as Laptech, going to reconnect here, RNG, when I keep using that term, that random number generator, for those that don't know, it's essentially meaning random luck. That is what it basically means. So for those that may not be too familiar with that term, so there you go. It's basically pointing out that rewind here. That's what it is. It's a 25% chance to heal that damage taken, and obviously he's getting some pretty nice procs of those in these fights. But again, it's part of the reason you pick up a hero like Kronos. Sync's the only team that's been running this Kronos here. No one else I've seen has, let alone got a Kronos, a carry Kronos for that matter. So, but this is now the third or fourth time I want to say that we've seen it here.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Legion has 31k experience lead. How is that not insane?
Well,
Like 31K.
Pro Bus hit level 25 like 10 minutes ago, so that doesn't help. But yeah, I mean, even outside of him, when you do look at the supporting cast around Magebane, it's still they're all kind of pretty far behind. So that is
Yeah,
fair.
that is insane.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, that's not good for Hellborn. Because they only have their set of spells. Like, once Hellbringer blows his double ulti, he's going to be practically useless. He's just going to be a walking out attacker. He has other spells, but I don't think they're going to make the biggest difference with the Shrunken Heads on Doctor and Kronos at this point. So he has two Malthuses. He has to pick his timing very well, and then he's out. Same with Lodestone. He doesn't really offer that much when people have Shrunken Heads. It's not too hard to use a Shrunken Head before Lodestone gets his spells off, because it's not like a Behemoth who will instantly shockwave you, and you get stunned, so you can't do anything. Lodestone kind of has to throw the rock drill out, and well, you do have more of a timing to activate your Shrunken Head. So I think it's very hard for Hellborn to teamfight at this point. But I don't see them doing any backdooring or split pushing either, because Legion has so much catch with the Doctor, with the Kronos and everything. They can just smoke up, which you actually see Hellborn doing.
They're going to find Kronos. God, they say rewind this. Oh my god, again, he gets away! Arcane Vortex going to come out. If they don't kill him here, this is unbelievable. Kronos Field, he's going to use it. He's on the run. 4 more seconds with a time leap. Are you kidding me? He's just unkillable, apparently. I don't know. Like, this is just insane. I don't even know if that was rewind procs. That was just more so they didn't have enough catch on him, I guess. Meanwhile, the top lane, the rest of the team counter-pushing. They take out the tower. They're going to kill Panty right there, who tries to assist. And now the Hellborn team, they're going to have trouble. They used a lot trying to kill right there. Magebane Mana Rift does practically nothing against Dr. Repulsor. That was definitely very panic use of it. And now they're going to, oh, they can't even kill Pearl because of that Void Talisman. And now Kronos comes back in. They catch a Magebane right here. The Shockwave. Magebane's going to fall. He does have a buyback. He did just buy that Savage Mace, but he made sure he didn't have enough for the buyback. But Sync Esports is just on point here. Haxorn surviving. Even though they're still in this game, I think it's fresh. I mean, their mentality right now has to be so drained. I mean, this is ridiculous how they just simply can't kill Haxorn. No matter how much they use. I mean, that was a 5 versus 1. The perfect catch. Double damage Magebane, for Christ's sake. And it still wasn't enough.
Yep. You saw a frustration blink, I think I saw there, from Magebane just blinking in without Shrunken Head into 3 heroes. He instantly got stunned and just locked down until he died. So, yeah, the atmosphere in the team doesn't really feel too great at this point. Maybe they're actually just too frustrated about the Kronos rewinds. I don't know. But a game where you have a maxed farm, like full inventory Magebane, in my eyes, it's really never lost. But seeing as Legion has almost a maxed inventory Kronos and a Dr. Repulsor, like, and a Midas, it's like just too much.
It is. It's
really hard.
And when you just can't kill the Kronos on top of that, it's obviously that doesn't help all the cause. And again, that goes back to that's the biggest thing. It's like they can't kill Kronos yet. They're still doing so much to try to kill him. So when they're using everything to just try to kill that Kronos, and they can't even do that, obviously they're not doing much to the others, and we're kind of seeing that take place. So yeah, I mean, Magebane has been this really strong inventory, full inventory now, and he's so far ahead. Yet it still wasn't enough. I mean, the couple of fights that went in the favor of Sync, Kronos helping with that with the way he lived, and now they do have that really heavy lead, as you're pointing out, the Doctor, the Kronos himself. Doctor with a Harkon's blade now, by the way. So some good damage there. 30 charges on that Icon of the Goddess as well. So a lot of positive
died
there.
a single time. Slept is playing so good this game, actually.
Yeah. 8-0-13. 5 seconds Shrunken Head here from Magebane, by the way, too. He's going to really need to rebuy that when he gets a chance.
Means he will have no buyback, though, so he's in a tough spot.
Yeah. That's true.
Conqueror is up.
Can't
really take that either, because he has no inventory slots.
Yeah, they would only be killing it just to keep it out of Sync's hands at this point. You're right. I mean, he would probably drop like something to man, but you're right. That's tough. I mean, I guess Steam Boots. Like, you could argue that maybe he would drop Steam Boots for it, but
no. the Legion has so much mobility with the leaps and everything.
Yeah.
Doctor also, he's not gonna be able to catch anyone if he blinks in without any pair of boots. He's just gonna be like, "Oh guys, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm running like a worm, or crawling, whatever." So it's not gonna be able to. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, they'd probably give it to they'd probably give it to Doctor, or not Doctor, but Hellbringer, maybe we call. But anyways, we do see a kill at the top lane. Lodestone, he gets caught just simply trying to push out the creep wave up top here, and now with him dead, and no buyback actually, so not going to have that Shatterstorm initiation for another 50 seconds here. I don't know if the Legion team is really going to be pushing, though, with that, so maybe not necessarily a huge deal here. Kongor is going to be happening by the Legion side. We got Midas trolling us right here. Kronos and Pearl are here. Here comes Behemoth. So, yeah, they're going to get this Kongor kill now that they know that they have such a big opening here. Doctor is not here? Oh, no, he is. Okay, yeah, post-haste. That's right. He has that post-haste. He joins the party, too, and
Legion has 4 post-hastes, so they're going to be everywhere. It's really hard for Hellborn to play at this point. Extremely hard, actually. Saw Hackstrin probably selling his Abyssal Skull for token, and he just bought something that is flying out.
He bought a charged hammer.
Alright, that's interesting.
That. Yeah.
I don't think it matters at this point, but I don't think that's a good item, but yeah, maybe they will make use of the charged hammer buff, like putting it on himself while he jumps in, just allowing people not to attack him, otherwise they're gonna take lots of damage. I don't know, but I don't think it's that good, but he wants to fill out this inventory before this push. Still setting up 4K though. Would have maybe liked to see him sell the Thunderclaw and buy a Wingbow or something like that instead. But Mageman has the Savage Mace, but we talked about it so many times now that he's not able to blink in and deal damage. I don't think that's going to be the biggest difference anyway.
Yeah.
And just Wingbow in itself is just such a good damage item, so it's not bad at all.
Bottom lane, Behemoth. He's going to be fine unless Moira catches him. No. He's going to sheep it even. It is funny seeing an illusion that can be sheeped and stuff, but nope, gets away. He's good to go. The illusion going at it. Again, you see Magebane, that illusion even. Pretty strong, but knowing that they haven't been able to win a fight yet with Magebane being as farmed as he is, it's just not getting any better. They've invested so much into him actually winning this game and haven't been able to come through, unfortunately. So Saint kind of just playing the very, very slow, patient game, as you were pointing out earlier. This is a team makeup that, you know, with the Doctor, with the Kronos, the Midas. He's got a Resto Stone now, by the way. It's what he chose to go. So he's got double Sheepstick, double Frostfield Blade even. He's got a combo of his abilities. So, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous here.
Yeah, definitely. And you do see a Storm Spirit on Lodestone right now, so Hellborn definitely wants to bait out the Magebane and blink in with the Storm to try to bait out a Sheepstick or another big spell maybe. Just storm him and then continue with the fight. But I'm wondering if that's actually going to be good or not, because if he's caught in the Chrono Field, the Storm Spirit won't last long enough for him to... Like, there's still going to be like a few seconds where he will take lots of damage and probably even a Sheep after the Storm. Seeing as he can't activate items immediately when he lands on the ground, because it has a bit of silence on you or whatever. You can't use items, perplex.
Yeah.
For just that tiny bit of time, and then you're gonna see the sheeps from the Midas and the Behemoth. So I don't know if it's gonna work out, but it's definitely a good thought.
It's an attempt. Yeah.
Yeah. Good attempt, I guess.
It's something here, but. Yeah, again, we're stuck in this spot. It's not like Sync's going to get massively more ahead. I feel like both teams are kind of maxed out. We do see a fight kind of breaking out right here. Hellbringer, Mana Rift immediately on a Pearl, does a little bit of damage, but just instantly kills her, I guess. But in the meantime, Hellbringer goes down. So he does have a second Malphite, but he's not up currently. Sheepstick on a Magebane. Magebane is dropping. Magebane will go down. He does have a buyback, using it immediately. Needs to get back in here ASAP. Parasite, he's going to end up dying. It is just Magebane now. 3 are still alive. They did end up killing Midas. You just hear that rewind proc constantly going off, though, again, on a Kronos. Haxorn, in fact, gets the hat trick here, and he still has the token of life to work with throughout it. So yeah, Magebane, he just can't deal damage here in these fights. The constant crowd control, the lockdown, and now the racks are going to fall in favor of Sync. So now this will start to be the beginning of what we assume should be the end here in favor of Sync. I mean, 30,000 gold for 45,000 experience. That is insane to see in a game, but here goes the middle now.
Kronos dropped really low from that fight, actually. He does still have the token, but they decided to give him bananas, and now he's back to full life and mana. The doctor gave him the bananas, so now when they're pushing more, just to be able to do that.
Magebane, he will eventually, I don't know if that's really scaring them off, more so the Legion team is just like, okay, we got what we came for, let's just fall back. They get 2 melee racks in the end for it. So again, we have Fresh there. They're still going to hang in here, and it's getting a little similar to what we had yesterday. For those that may not have caught it, definitely check it out when you get the chance. If you have time, that is. Maybe you can fast forward through bits and pieces of it. But the 90-minute match we had yesterday that finished off the day between Sync and Complexity, actually, where Sync got to a point finally that they had down to 1 ranged racks that was eventually going to get the Mega Cruise, but Complexity defended insane-like. Eventually, of course, Sync did win it in the end, but maybe that's what we're in for here in this game now. Just turtle.
I don't know if it's going to get anywhere, though. I don't want to be negative about it, but Magebane is not getting any other items. And
exactly.
Looking at the past fights, it's not looking that good for Hellborn. But speaking about items, you see Slapped going for the most efficient damage build in the game with the Rift Charge and the Heartens. I don't think you can get any more damage than that. Those 2 items together, they are really a good combo. But yeah, I think he buys Rift Charge because they're actually winning.
Yeah, seeing that on a Doctor Repulsor is definitely something. But his potential damage is pretty damn high, to say the least. So again, Sync. Yeah, not that we can't blame them. They're not going to throw themselves at Fresh right here, but they don't necessarily even need to. It keeps going back to it's like Magebane can just farm all this all he wants, but there's literally nothing that he's going to be able to spend that farm on. He has 0 buybacks now. He's 100% max inventory, other than just rebuying Shrunken Heads, which is already down 10 seconds as he rebuy here. So part of me almost wants to say, why is he even bothering? I mean, because he can. The other heroes can't farm as easily as him. In fact, they catch Magebane, though. And if he dies here, that is 100% GG. Arcane Vortex does come out. But meanwhile, there's a fight elsewhere. Kronos comes out of it. Can they actually kill Kronos this time? Hellfire's on him. They just want the kill on Kronos. They don't care about anything else. No, they're not even going to get it again. Preservation. Kronos, in fact, is going to come back in. He has a support now. Parasite's not going to do it. There's the Kronos field on top of the Preservation. That looks funny. And down goes Parasite. Magebane gets caught. Look at the crits coming out. And I think Fresh should be calling GG now. Or maybe just let it finish the old-fashioned way. Either way, it's going to be a victory for Sync Esports here as they take game number 1 here in this 2-game series. So, congrats to Sync. Obviously, a pretty fun game to say. What are they doing here? They're just post-tasing a couple steps. That was funny.
Minus diving the well. But yeah, I think they're going to let it finish, seeing as Probosk is not calling any GGs yet.
That's Sarah, the double Doombringer strat. Alright, they're just having fun with it now. They kind of have been for a while. But no, I mean, this, again, it's, you look back at where this game was at, man. I mean, Magebane was so far ahead. I believe I mentioned he was level 25 when nobody else was maybe level 20. I think it was across like 20 or 21. I mean, his GPM was pretty insane, and that it was that 4-1 strat. It seemed like, as you pointed out, Magebane is one of the scarier carries in the game with that full inventory. But they couldn't kill Kronos was obviously a big part of it, but also just initiations and fights. It just constantly happened in favor of Sync, I feel like. And that kind of was a big deciding factor in this game here.
Yeah, definitely. Hellborn could have the better fights, but their heroes are like, you got to pick the perfect timing to win those team fights. Like Lodestone, you only have one shot, and same with Hellbringer. You can just drop your ability once, and then you're out. So if they ever misplay with any of their abilities, they're just gonna lose the fight. Legion has a lot of low cooldown abilities, which you saw play a factor in that game, because they actually get their cooldowns back on their heroes. So they were able to fight during longer periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
And that played a huge role in the early fights there, as well as some misplays, I guess, from Hellborn. You saw Probusk blinking in several times in situations he probably shouldn't have, but, well, it might have been a team call or whatever it may be, but it didn't pay off this game.
No, and that, I mean, to me too, though, that overall, again, that was honestly just very well played, really on both sides for the most part, but especially on Sync's side. That was some impressive coordination coming out from them throughout a lot of the fights, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they take that into game number 2 now. But, I also wonder what kind of bans we're going to see like here. It honestly would have surprised me. Kronos was got to be so frustrated in that game that they just banned him initially. But you might be setting yourself up to be in a bad spot then if you do that. So, but we'll see. We'll see. Game number 2 is going to be coming up here just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Sync Esports versus Fresh here. Game 2. Han Tour Season 4, Cycle number 5. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.